Can I have your attention, please? Okay, I get it. I know what you guys need. Look what I have! A shirtless Leon! Ooh, yeah, good stuff. Now that I have your attention, Resident Evil 9 might be already setting up its DLC and the future of the franchise. The game released on February 28th and had already cemented itself as one of the best entries in the series, selling around 5 million copies in its first week. The community is celebrating one of the fastest selling Resident Evil games ever, and honestly, it is well deserved. It brings together almost everything people love about Resident Evil. The gameplay, the atmosphere, the characters. The reviews are even as stellar as Leon Kennedy's ass. I need Jesus, I'm sorry. But the real question now is this: what comes next? Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone! I'm the Global Cherry, and today we're talking about what might come next after Resident Evil Requiem. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe after watching.
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
Raccoon City was where it all began for me.
Based on insider information, Resident Evil 9 may receive 2 separate DLC expansions. According to Resident Evil insider Dusk Golem, a DLC for Resident Evil 9 is currently in development. The original idea was to help space out the gap between Resident Evil 9 and the upcoming Code Veronica remake and Zero remake, back when Resident Evil 9 was planned for a 2025 release. But since the game was delayed to 2026, the DLC will likely arrive much sooner after launch. So what could these DLCs actually be about? There are plenty of possibilities. The Resident Evil series has a strong history with DLC expansions. Resident Evil 7 had several story expansions featuring characters like Joe Baker, Zoe, Marguerite Baker, and a mission where Chris Redfield takes down Lucas Baker. Resident Evil 8 followed that pattern with the Shadow of Rose DLC. Resident Evil 4 had the Separate Ways expansion. Resident Evil 2 also included additional playable modes, and several games like Resident Evil 4, 7, and 8 introduced bonus modes such as Mercenaries. So it would not be surprising if Resident Evil 9 Requiem follows that same pattern. Personally, I hope we get more story content rather than something like Mercenaries mode or another post-launch bonus mode. I usually play Resident Evil games for the story and a beautiful technological innovation called mods.
It should have been me, not him!
According to Dusk Golem, there are rumors that Alyssa Ashcroft may become a playable character in one of the DLCs, exploring Umbrella's curse. Her character model has apparently been rigged already, which means we might see the fan-favorite reporter from Outbreak return in modern realistic graphics. There are also rumors that another DLC could focus on Leon, and honestly, I'm not complaining. I would not mind seeing more of Leon. Dusk also mentioned there will be content that keeps players coming back to Resident Evil 9 long after the main story ends. Some people speculate this could involve Leon tracking down Chris to uncover a darker thread that goes far beyond Elpis, but I think the real question keeping people invested after the story is much bigger. Who is Leon married to? And who is that wedding ring on his left hand for? Well, I solved the mystery. It's Chris. I'm kidding. It is actually his Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT. A lot of fans were disappointed that Ada Wong did not appear in Resident Evil 9 aside from her teddy bear keychain. Some of you probably felt your hopes crushed after finishing Resident Evil Requiem, especially if my Ada Wong video gave you a little hope as an Aeon shipper. And honestly, I feel the same way, but hear me out, don't kill me. Ada Wong has always operated in the shadows with her own agenda. Throughout the series, she usually steps in only when Leon is in serious trouble. So it is possible that while Grace is fighting for her life in the main game, Leon was actually on a high-stakes mission that led him into a submerged Umbrella facility. Maybe the reason Ada did not interfere this time is because Leon insisted this was a mission he had to handle himself. It could be his way of confronting his guilt over all the people he could not save. Ada may have stayed away because she chose to respect that and let him face it alone. Leon already looks tired of dealing with this endless bioterrorism mess. Maybe he finally made time for himself. Maybe Ada did the same, and maybe that little detail is hinting that the two of them are actually married. Of course, Capcom will probably never let Leon retire until he's old enough to go to bingo.
Let me do a backflip.
Oh my god, are you okay?
I feel like $1,000,000, but I broke my back, and it ain't from Mrs. Kennedy.
Even if we do not play as Ada in the DLC, there is still a chance it could hint at Leon's relationship with her and what she has been doing since we last saw her. Or the DLC could focus on Chris Redfield's unfinished war in Resident Evil 9. At the end of Resident Evil 9, a soldier named Alpha delivers a message to Leon from Captain Redfield. And no, the message was not about continuing the Redfield bloodline with Claire. It seems the BSAA, Chris's Wolfhound Squad, and possibly a shadow organization rising after Umbrella are locked in a silent conflict. In the post-credits scene of Requiem, soldiers inside the Ark appear to have wiped out a BSAA team and are retrieving an objective before the Wolves Chris's unit can arrive. This suggests there are multiple groups trying to claim Umbrella's remaining assets for themselves. If you remember, the BSAA was originally a bioterrorism security alliance, and Chris was one of its strongest operatives. He spent years hunting Umbrella, but in Resident Evil Village, eventually he discovered the BSAA had started deploying BOWs, the same type of bioweapons Umbrella spent years trying to perfect, instead of sending real soldiers. Some fans have even pointed out that the BSAA BOWs resemble Chris Redfield, so characters like Emily, Chloe, and Timu Wesker might not be the only copies out there. Other groups could be experimenting with creating the perfect human, much like Spencer once did for his own darker ambitions. The BSAA shows up near the Ark and is quickly wiped out by someone trying to secure something far more important than Elpis. That could easily become the focus of a DLC and set up the story for Resident Evil 10. So what exactly did Chris discover that was more important than the antiviral that could restore world balance and counter Umbrella's creations? That mystery could open the door for Resident Evil 10 to center on Chris and Claire, with Leon still playing a role. Based on speculation, the next main entry could arrive around 2029. A hunk DLC would also be fun to see, especially if the mysterious commander actually turns out to be him, or maybe even a clone. Or maybe we finally get the story of the creation of the Wesker clone, who just runs everywhere yelling, "It's Weskin time!"
Oh my god, bro.
Another rumor going around is that Capcom plans to remake more Resident Evil games. No kidding! According to Dusk Golem, Capcom is working on another remake of Resident Evil 1, and it has reportedly been greenlit even though no release date has been confirmed yet. If that is true, we might get to see our Stars girl Jill again. Her character model in Resident Evil 3 Remake looks fantastic, so I would love to see her return in the classic Resident Evil 1 outfit. There are also rumors that a Code Veronica remake is actively in development and could be announced later this year, with a possible release around 2027. Resident Evil 0 is also rumored to be in development, with a target release around 2028. Capcom has not officially confirmed any of this, so take it with a grain of salt. Some rumors even suggest that Code Veronica could reuse the idea of exploring a mansion similar to the ones in the Resident Evil 1 remake. Regardless of which rumors end up being true, as a Resident Evil fan, I'm excited. It is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Whether we get remakes, new mainline entries, or spin-offs, I'm here for it.
What the hell?
Capcom consistently nails the horror atmosphere that makes Resident Evil so memorable, but there is one thing I would really love to see before we get more story content. A VR mode for Resident Evil Requiem. If even half of these rumors are true, Resident Evil fans are going to be eating well over the next few years. This franchise is one of the reasons I fell in love with gaming in the first place. I hope you enjoyed the video. That is all for today. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more Resident Evil content. I'm currently working on a no running challenge across as many Resident Evil games as possible, and it is taking some time. I'm not promiscuous, and I'm a firm believer of monogamy, but my cheeks are getting clapped in this challenge. If you want to see how that goes, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!